Hey, what's up? This is Mike from Malik Tells. How's it going? So it's been a minute since I've done both. So right now I'm double dipping. This is going to be on YouTube and my podcast. It's been a while. I've done some reflecting, some thinking, some doing. So now I'm going to bring that all here and to help me and you essentially. So for the most part, storytelling has kind of been my thing, but I think over the years I've kind of figured out where I'm honing that in best, and it's going to be in writing. So that's what today is going to be about. So I'm interviewing a ghostwriter, a content writer, and I think he's a tiny bit of a copywriter as well. And we talk about, the usual AI that everybody else is talking about, but, we can't escape it nowadays. Talk a little bit about AI writing. We also talk about the difference between, if there is any, between a ghostwriter and a content writer and a copywriter. He gives us a few tips on what to do if we want to start doing content writing for other people. So like what books to read and a little helpful tip. So yeah, welcome back to my little world with storytelling, writing are going to be the main, drivers, the vehicles to what I do and to what we do here. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this first episode back. Here's my interview and my talk with RJ Reyes. Thanks for joining us today. So today we have RJ. I'm going to give him some time to talk about what he does in a little bit, in case you don't know him. But we're going to start off talking about a little bit more about writing. For now, RJ, can you do me a solid? Can you go ahead and introduce yourself for the people who don't know you?
Okay, my name is RJ Reyes. I am a premium ghostwriter for service providers in the manufacturing industry. So,
Nice.
yeah,
So how would you define it in your words, or how you go about it, what a ghostwriter does?
so like for me, what a ghostwriter does is I will write the content for the expert. So let's say I'm not
Okay.
like right now I'm not the subject matter expert. So what I do is I will instead of the business owner writing their own content because they're so busy and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I will write it for them instead so that they can focus more on the, I guess, most critical things in their business as opposed to, writing content. Because let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest, marketing is a long-term game, in my opinion,
Yeah.
right? You're not going to get an easy ROI from it. And
Yeah.
so, and if you're a solo business owner, there are different sides of the business that your time is better spent on and not in marketing.
Mm-hmm. And just for people who don't know, ROI means return on the investment. So like how much you put in is what you're going to get out.
Hmm.
Um, in a sense, you're kind of helping people buy their time back. Is that kind of safe or fair to say?
Kind of like buying it, yeah, in a way, yeah. Like because then instead of them, again, like there's only 24 hours in a day, right? And if you're a solo business owner, you have to wear different hats, right, to run the business. One of them you have to fulfill, like, whatever service you are providing. That's one. There's one for marketing. You got to get in sales calls. You got to wear all these hats, and I guess it really depends on how much time you want to free up, right? Um, so, and it's especially harder if you have a family as well. So you're trying to,
Yeah.
you balance your time not just as a like, like your personal relationships, and then you have your business.
Hmm.
If that's the kind of stuff that you want to keep doing, then of course, like you keep doing that. But if you want to if you want to carve out some time so that you can spend more, I don't know, time in your like whatever personal thing you wanted to do, then that's when you hire me
Yeah.
because that's where I can help
And
you
then,
out.
and who did you say you mostly serve? It was what?
It will be
Industrial?
service providers in the manufacturing industry because my
Okay,
background is in
manufacturing.
manufacturing. So I'm a
Okay.
mechanical engineering technologist. That's my background,
Oh, nice.
and I've been in the industry for more than 18 years now. And I've held different
Okay.
roles in the business where, like I've worked in the shop, I've worked in the procurement side of things, I've worked in the engineering. Again, I rarely see ghostwriters in that space, and so
Yeah,
and I
true.
like to write, so I figured might as well, combine those two, like my credibility in that industry and the thing that I like to do, and
Yeah.
yeah, help more people, I guess, more
That's cool
business owners.
because I remember when I was doing photography, I kind of admired people who had an interest or like a strong interest outside of photography. Like, for example, if somebody really liked cars, like, and then you could do car photography. Like, I never really had that when I was first starting. Like, the photography was the main interest.
Hmm.
So, like, for a while, I had a hard time how to, like, I guess, specialize in something because, like, yeah, it's different if you're really into cars. If you're really into sports, then you can do sports photography. Like, so I think that's cool that you found like the thing that you know well, because like I kind of see it like if somebody was a yoga instructor and they needed help with that, like I think they're gonna feel better hiring somebody who knows yoga and knows their content side as opposed to somebody who just knows content only. Like, not that that's bad, but I think they would feel a little better if they also know that hey, this person also has a background in yoga too. So that's cool.
It's more
So
specialized. That's what you're saying, right?
yeah, because I think that's where some people get stuck with niches. At least creatives, um, like because it happened to me when I was doing photography. I thought, okay, black and white portrait photographer was my niche, which kind of, but I think as the more I thought about it, that's just a style. That's not so much a niche. So like, I think it would have been better if I had an industry that I knew of or better was better at the time. I mean, I know I would know now what I could have done back then, but like I was young and dumb. But like, I think sometimes it's better to specialize in an industry so that way, that becomes your niche. So, for example, I used to be a massage therapist, and I did that for 8 years. So I know the health and wellness side. I could have done photography for that, like for the yoga people, massage therapists, uh, estheticians. Like I could have done that world, or even like personal fitness coaches. I could have done that. I thought I figured that out a little too late, which I still kind of can with writing,
Yeah,
but
no kidding.
I don't know that I want to.
8 years, man.
Yeah. For example, sake, let's say I am one of those owners in that company, right? Let's say I'm in manufacturing, I own that, and then I see you, right? What would me hiring you do for me? Like aside from buying the time back, but like what ROI do I get? Like what's a good example?
Well, a good like if what ROI, I guess attention is probably one of them. Attention and time. But what's the point of marketing? I mean, like I want to help you spread your name out on the internet. That's what I'm going to help them do. And hopefully, the more people know you, the more calls you get, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully, that will, you know, um, improve the business or expand it.
And for those businesses, are they typically personal brands or they're typically like company brands?
That's a good question. I'm okay. I'm going to be fully transparent. I'm so new to the space that um, right now I don't know the answer to that question. Um, but if but based on what like my observation so far, it's more of like a company brand.
Ah, okay.
Um,
Do you feel there's a difference in how you write when it comes to a personal brand or a business?
this point, no, I don't. Um, and this is where it gets confusing too with like with my answer there because I want to cater to um solopreneurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Solo business owners. So I guess we're talking about, I don't know if we're talking about personal brand or we're talking about the brand of their business. Um, and because I don't know the answer to that question, um, I can't really like put a category on it. But what I can
Yeah.
do is like what I want to do for them is I will get them to share their stories, case studies, and anything that would prove their credibility in their industry, right? Because manufacturing is huge. It's like saying healthcare and wellness, right? There are different subcategories in there, right? Are we
Yeah.
talking about a machine shop? Are we talking about a
True.
you know quality specialist? It's
Yeah.
vague at this point. I don't have the niche drilled down to its
Okay.
uh, yeah, to its basic level. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, yeah, fair enough. I was just curious, like, cause like I've seen ghostwriters for, let's say, for example, like Will Smith. He had one, Mark Manson, who wrote the subtle art of not giving an F. Um, and then I found out that Will hired Mark to ghostwrite the book, his like memoir, I think. Um, so then I was thinking, I wonder if that's kind of possible with the business. Can a business have a ghostwriter, or at that point, would it be just a content creator? And if so, is there a difference between a content writer versus a ghostwriter? Do you think there's a difference?
I don't think so. Like when you say content writer, what kind of content are we talking about? Right? Are we talking?
So let's say, for example, like, have you seen the Wendy's threads or Wendy's Instagram by any chance? So with Wendy's, like whoever's doing that, whoever's running that account is awesome because like they're acting almost as if it's Wendy, going and like commenting on things or making like funny comments, funny posts. Let's say Dairy Queen was like, oh, like it feels like a chocolate ice cream kind of day. And then Wendy's will come in and say, or actually, it sounds more like a chocolate frosty kind of day. Like they'll do little like funny stuff like that, but like I feel like that they're writing more so as the business, not so much as a person. Or like who writes the like the thread posts or X or whatever for like Walmart or like um like Target. Like to me, I feel like that would be a content writer because they're just writing content. There's no like person behind it. It's the entity acting as a person. But I think ghost writer is when the individual is presenting themselves as if they're the ones that wrote it, but actually somebody else wrote it for them. So I think that would be the slight difference in my opinion. What the little that I know, it would be that ghostwriter, somebody's writing on behalf of them as if they are them. Content writer would be, hey, like it's kind of not obvious, but it's kind of like
I
known.
see what you're saying. I'm leaning
Yeah.
more towards content. It's more content writer. So like, well, here's the thing, right? Like one way to look at it is someone's gonna hire me to do the writing for them. It's not my thinking.
Mm.
It's their thinking.
Mm.
Like none of it is RJ. It would be whoever the service provider is. So
Yeah.
another way of looking at it is, let's say the Bible, right? Maybe this is a bad one where, like, the apostles, they would write
Yeah.
the stuff for Jesus, right? So, like, I'm not, this is not to say that they are ghostwriters, um, but they're writing the teachings of Jesus Christ. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And, like, like, I think that's one good example that I can come up with. There are four
Mm-hmm.
different versions, right? Matthew, Mark, Peter's the other one, and John, right? They
Yeah.
probably see like how they're communicate, how they have different versions of the events, and they're written a little differently, but they kind of somewhat mean the same. I don't know if I'm making sense there, but that's
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
how I would look at it. I'm not pretending to be clear. I'm not pretending to be the service provider. I'm not him.
Ah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Does,
Yeah.
does that does that make sense though? Like if I'm let's say if I'm writing for you, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm Michael, right? What I'm gonna do is
Yeah.
I'm gonna pry out whatever insights you have, but when it comes to posting it, I will post it on your behalf. It will be under your name. You won't see my name on there. So I'm basically like your
Mm-hmm.
employee, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess it is kind of the same thing, the content and the ghostwriter in a sense. But yeah, that was the way that I learned it. I could be wrong. Um, but yeah, I think that's what I remember. Because like, even in the book that I was talking about with Will Smith, Mark Manson is listed as like a co-author, even though I think even Gary Vee does this. I think he hires a ghostwriter, he voices it out, somebody like writes it for him. In a sense, I think that's also kind of like a ghostwriter in a sense, because like it's not Gary sitting down writing it. Um,
But it's his ideas.
yeah,
Okay, so right now in the age of AI, right? When you're writing, like we were talking about Substack the other day, there, right? It is your thinking,
yeah.
and then you're using AI to help you um, communicate your insight or your expertise out into the world in a more efficient way,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in that example, the ghostwriter is AI because it's translating what I'm feeding it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the service, so it's kind of the same thing. Um, and the other thing too is ghostwriter. It's not, it's probably not like a very common term. Uh, it's not a common term, and you don't go selling yourself as ghostwriter anyways to just like I wouldn't go out there and tell them, hey, I'm a ghostwriter, because they probably like to the service providers that I wanted to help, because they probably don't even know what it means.
Mm. Hmm.
Ghostwriter is just like a simple way of defining what I do, when in
Yeah.
reality, all it is that I'm writing content for you.
Yeah. And what got you into that? What was that moment that you were like, you know what, this is what I want to do? Because you said you were doing the manufacturing for like I forgot how many years. Like,
I'm still
when
in
was
it.
that moment that like clicked? So that like, oh, you know what, this is kind of what I want to do now too.
Okay, so I started the ghostwriting business last year, just last year. I'm so new to it. What got me into it is I just wanted to make extra money. I wanted to make extra money out of something that I love to do, which is to write. So I've been writing
Okay.
a lot of content. Before I got into it, I'm like, you know what? If like I don't really have my own business, right? And why don't I use this skill to help other businesses out there?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what got me into it. And now let's say if I'm let's assume that I'm making a lot of money from it, right? That would also allow me to do more writing, which is what I love to do, than what I'm doing right now. Like, because I still
Yeah.
have my other profession there, which I don't plan on leaving either. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, I don't hate my corporate job at all,
Yeah.
not at all. Like I want to have both. I want to be
Yeah.
a ghostwriter at night and a a lead engineer in the morning.
Okay. Nice. And what got you into writing, like in general? Like, because you could have like gone into the content game with anything, like video designing. So what was about writing that got you?
The history there is that I used to draw with MS Paint art.
Okay.
I used to draw with MS Paint using, like the mouse.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen any of my artworks there, but like I've created one before. Um, and then I thought of, you know what, if I want to sell artwork, my artwork, well, I need to learn how to write and sell them. So then I started getting into like writing, copywriting, and all that other stuff, right? And then after a while, I've gotten to a point where, you know what, I'm starting to like writing more than creating digital art. And then I just, at one point, like I just stopped creating digital art and leaned, um, yeah, and leaned towards writing. And since then,
Ah,
I've
okay.
been, but
Nice.
and to add to that too, I've been writing on a journal ever. for the longest time.
Yeah.
Why do I
That's
do that?
cool.
Because I want to reflect on my thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would be your best way to define, if you could, the difference between copywriting and content writing? Because I've noticed some people think sometimes it's the same thing, or is it? Is it not? What do you think?
You're not gonna like my answer.
Okay.
Meaning, um, I don't even think about it that way. Like to me, writing is
Mm-hmm.
writing. I don't even
Hmm.
like as much as possible, I try to stay away from definitions simply because everyone
Yeah.
has a different way of interpreting it, right? If I say this, another person would say that, and then I'm like, well, who am I to define? I mean, I don't know. Um, our interpretation to it is subjective, and therefore I'm not going to put a definition to it. Like these are all skills, right? Like what is writing content? You write content that people pay attention to. What is copywriting? Is it's selling, right? But if you're writing content, you're also selling your ideas, no? Wouldn't that be copywriting then at that point? Or are
I
you
don't
there to
know.
entertain?
I I think it depends. I think it's the outcome, because like copywriting
Mm-hmm.
is selling with words,
Yeah.
but like on paper. So like
Mm-hmm.
it's a category of marketing and advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Content writing, anybody can open a Threads account and say, I had matcha today. Technically, that was content writing. That's not copywriting. So, like, that's a very simplified way for me to differentiate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like to me, copywriting, the main goal is to sell product or service, or an idea, because you could still use it for, campaigns or promotions, like for,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, campaigning for somebody's like uh, whoever wants to run for senator.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, content writing is that, like, the little things that, like, oh, I had fun today. Like, technically they wrote that and that was a content, or like regurgitating the same thing everybody else does. Somebody saw, um, you know, followers don't matter. Content matters, and then somebody else writes the exact same thing. They just wrote content. They didn't really like have a selling point in mind. They're just
It,
voicing their
it, it,
opinions
it,
out.
it sounds like copywriting is more valuable than content writing based on that definition, no?
I think so. To be honest,
Right.
I would, because like I think a business would be willing to pay more for a copywriter to have them sell their car than to have pay a content writer to write about their weekend they had with their family. Like, the ROI is not there.
Yeah.
So
Do content writers still exist? Are they valuable to the business?
I think they're slowly not anymore
Okay.
because of AI.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's so much easier now for me, for example, to put into ChatGPT or whoever,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm trying to make a post about a time that I bumped into a friend and they remembered me, and I got them to sign up for my business through small talk. And can you write about, the importance of small talk? Okay, cool. Like, AI can kind of do that and do okay. But if I were to tell AI, hey, write about the car that I'm selling and what it's like to drive it, it can't know what it's like to drive the exact same car. It's just going to get generalized cars and what other people have said about that. So like I think that's why um yeah, I think that would be kind of like the differentiator there for me.
Because for me, like if I'm being honest, like I stopped paying attention to the differences between like the writing styles and all that. Um,
Yeah.
but if you were to ask me what I would like, what I typically do, maybe it falls under the category of content writing because I'm not really like I'm selling ideas. I'm not selling a product. I'm not in advertising if because I'm just selling an idea, right? Like
Right.
in my newsletter, I'm selling the idea of shadow leadership and how to lead behind the scenes,
Yeah.
right?
I think the difference between like what you would be able to do for somebody versus what AI could do for me is being able to find the humanistic parts of it. Like meaning like um let's say, hey, I don't know, the company lost 20 grand last year because of I don't know, whatever. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
even matter. Like you can go back to your time where you lost a huge amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of remember that feeling and be able to go based off of the feeling, versus again AI will go based off of the data and what other people kind of said about that feeling, so it'll still be slightly generic and what it thinks. And it's getting pretty good, I have to admit. I know people are anti AI, everybody's a hardcore on the ship, you're either for or against it. I'm kind of in the middle, I'm indifferent to it. um so like it can do well enough, but then that's the thing, it's good enough, which is scary. Well, that's not scary. The scary part is what I'm noticing is I don't know how long it's gonna last. I hope it doesn't last long. But like, have you ever heard of that triangle where it's like you could either have it fast, cheap, or good, but you can't have all three. You have to like give up one. So like that's kind of the idea behind it. Like if you want something good and you want it fast, it's not going to be cheap. You have to pay a lot to rush order because you have to stop everything to do your thing. But if you're okay with it being slow, then it could be a little cheaper, but it's going to be good because they're going to take their time on it, even though it's going to take a while. This is the first time in history that we've seen people actually be okay with sacrificing quality. So they're okay if it's cheap and not so good as long as it's fast. And that's what AI is doing. So AI is cheap, fast, and relatively good. So like that's why people are like, I'm noticing it because of the shelf life of content nowadays and how much needs to be produced and be put out. Everybody is okay with good enough. Like it's not like how back then to put like something out on TV, one, it costs a lot of money to get on commercial slot. Two, then you have to make sure it's good. So you have to spend a lot of money to make the commercial good. But now you could just upload it for free, and then you have all these other people uploading for free. Now it's almost like a race of quality and quantity at the same time. So like that's kind of what I've been noticing with what's going on. I think you would be the one for the people who still care about, who don't want to sacrifice quality, and you'll either be cheap or not. Like if you're not cheap, you might be faster.
I think it boils down to goals too, right? Like some people, they want to put out content out there, um, because maybe it's for the algorithm, right? Just for the sake of, showing up. I'll write this
Yeah,
content for the sake of just showing up. And if that's the goal, I mean, so be it. If that's your goal, you do that, right? But you can't expect people to pay much attention to it because your goal is not to get attention, it's really to just to show up in the platform. You know what I mean?
mm,
If
yeah,
if, if you want to play the game, you gotta go all in. Like you gotta
right,
level up. You
right,
have to stand out from everybody because everybody is doing the same thing. Do you want to be just like everybody else? Do you want to be part of the norm? Then you do that, and it's normal. There's nothing wrong with it, right?
yeah,
If that's your goal, then you do that. But if your goal is to inspire people, or if you want to level up their thinking, then you probably need to put more time into it. Um, in my opinion, AI is just a tool. It reveals how much you don't know as well. It reveals how much you
right,
know, and reveals how much you don't know. Because if you don't know what the
yeah,
hell you're talking about, you prompt that thing and you're gonna get crap. And because you don't know what you're talking about, you're gonna accept that crap to be the truth. To you, it's high
right,
quality because you skimmed through it because there's so much content that it gave you.
yeah,
I've got everything that I need. All I need to do is copy paste it. And maybe, maybe just proofread it a little bit. Um, People do that. Like I've done that too. Problem is,
Right.
what I end up doing is I'm spending more time editing because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put something out there that I don't agree with. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I'm
You
spending more
reminded me of
time. I'm using AI, and yet I'm spending more time. I'm inefficient by using AI.
true. There's a saying in Spanish, el flojo trabaja doble. The lazy does double the work. Like the quick example of that is like if you have like a piece of trash you want to throw, instead of getting up and throwing it in the trash, you like try to like throw it. But now you throw and you miss. Now you got to get up, bend over, and then like put it in the trash. Like that's kind of like double the work. Or like the lazy does double the work. Like, oh, let me just use this cheap like quick wood really quick, and then it falls apart. Now you got to buy the new stuff again, and then build it again right. Like so I feel like that's kind of like what you reminded me of, like where you spend a little bit more time editing than if you just sat down and did it yourself in the first place.
Yeah, it's
Because
short-term
like,
thinking.
yeah, because that's what's interesting. But where did that really come from? Like, why? Because I didn't like grow up like reading like a whole bunch of books, or wasn't like a hardcore journaler when I was like a little kid or anything. Like I hated
I
my
wasn't either.
English class. So I'm like, where did this come from? And then I started realizing I think AI turned me into a writer, because when I would ask for prompts, when I first was playing with it wouldn't do what I was thinking or what I was trying to say. And you know how like some of us always say, you know what I mean? It didn't get what I meant. So I'm like, okay, well, now I have to be a little bit more clear. So let me actually describe what I really want. And I got better at describing with writing. When I wrote, like, oh yeah, like this is cool, like blah blah blah, and but like most people were like, well, what is this? I'm like, oh, that's true. So now I could say, oh, this Google Pixel 10 is cool. So I started getting more like detailed and more descriptive. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm learning that, like how to be more like descriptive and write better prompts. But then the whole M dash started going on. I was like, okay, well, let me figure out what this is. I was like, oh, that's cool. That would have been so cool to learn how to do, instead of like the dot 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 like for everything, or like I always messed up semicolons. So like it's nice that that M dash is kind of like my get away with it. So I started learning more about that, and I was like, huh. Because I started using AI more, it made me learn how to talk to it better. So I had to learn how to write better. So now I feel like I'm better at writing overall. And that's kind of like what's like launched it. Because yeah, like how you said earlier, it's kind of like food. Like if you get crappy raw ingredients, you're going to get a crappy dish at the end of the day. So if your input is crap, your output's going to be crap. And then you're going to spend more time trying to fix it. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
something you made me think of.
it all starts with like your familiarity of the thing too, right? I drink
Yeah.
coffee every day, right? Um, but I'm not a coffee connoisseur. Um,
Right.
right? Like I like my coffee. I love my Keurig with Starbucks, right? I don't use
Yeah.
and like I use powdered cream and then I
Nice.
use stevia. So
You do.
yeah.
Right. The French vanilla.
No, it's not even French vanilla. It's just the regular coffee mate, and that's how I like
Okay,
my
gotcha. Yeah.
coffee. Um,
Yeah.
right? If I get people to drink that, they're gonna say, "What the heck is this?" As opposed to like, let's say someone who loves Starbucks, right? Is that even coffee? Maybe. I don't know. Not my
Right.
thing. Um,
Yeah.
but to some, like, I guess what I'm trying to get at is to someone who doesn't really understand coffee, or I'm not suggesting that I understand coffee. Maybe coffee is a bad example, but when it comes to writing, someone who doesn't fully understand what it takes to write content wouldn't be even be able to assess whatever they're reading properly.
Mm.
Another example would
Hmm.
be, let's say you're a graphic designer, I'm not a graphic designer, right? You see things that
Hmm.
I don't see. If you're looking at things at a deeper detail, I don't. Like I don't give a shit simply because um I don't have the eye for it. I'm
Right.
not in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
you can tell me all you want that no, this is how it should be, blah blah blah. But if it's not my world, like to me, I'd be like, sure, whatever you say,
Yeah.
bud. I'm just gonna go to
Right.
AI. and get it to the design for me, right? Meanwhile, you see AI's output and you're like, the heck, this is crap. But to me, it isn't crap.
Right.
So there is that. Like the AI is really just like a tool. It's a
Actually,
reflection of the user.
yeah, that's true. You just reminded me of a study I read like almost like an hour before we started
Mm,
talking.
mhm,
I can't remember the school, like that's how fresh it is, but there was a school that did a study that they got like 1,600 something people to test. They had 6 short stories. 3 were written by human, 3 were written by ChatGPT. And for part of the group, they just told them that they were all human. People rated higher the ChatGPT writings as more easier to read. It was easier to follow, like more of a pleasant reading than the human ones. I think they just out of rating it, they just picked the ChatGPTs. People preferred reading those more. But then they told them which ones were written by human, and it still got a higher rating just because they knew a human wrote it. But even though some of them were still ChatGPT, so some of them said that they were better just because of the fact that they knew that it was human written. I think it's almost like split 50-50. Like the little mini research that I'm doing on my own is split 50-50 that only the artists and the creatives are mad and hate ChatGPT, and the absolutely not creatives at all who are like kind of what you said right now, like how you wouldn't like give two craps about like if the text didn't align well as long as it looked decent. I think there's that side of the people who also don't care if like that it was made or written by ChatGPT as long as it's good and as long as it works for them. So I'm noticing there's like a little split. I haven't seen a creative that like loves it so much, unless now they are using it to make money.
here's how I look at it. It's only bad if you're not gaining from it. Just in anything in life.
Yeah.
If it's not serving you, then it's bad. It doesn't matter what it
Yeah.
is, right? This is where context comes in, where
Yeah.
in some cases you don't want floods, right? In some cases you want it. Some cases you want rain.
Okay.
In some
Yeah.
cases, like
Yeah.
AI, if it's not serving you well right now, that sucks. But once it starts serving you, you're
Right.
gonna be like, you're probably gonna change your mind. Like, maybe it's not too bad at all.
Right.
It
Yeah.
separates it's the attitude. Like, this is gonna sound like a little harsh, but this is just my thinking, by the way.
Yeah.
If winners, like, they don't complain much. They try to make it
Right.
work.
Yeah.
But if you're not a winner, what do? You just complain about every little thing that is causing you inconvenience, right?
Yeah.
Which one do you gonna be a part of? Shit's gonna
Right.
get hard, and you want that because if you want to stand out, you got to put in the work. That's why
True.
I like to work hard, simply because I know that's what it takes for me to succeed. Like AI, the common notion with AI is that, yeah, it makes things easier, yeah, for sure. But if you don't know what the heck you want from it, you don't even know if you're doing the right, like if you're um, gaining something from it, other than the fact that you can produce more content. Because if no one's paying attention to it, I mean, you can keep doing that too. It's just that you're doing things mindlessly. You have to be very intentional with what you want to do. People regurgitate content because it's easy to regurgitate content. You know what's hard? Going out there, applying the thing, experiencing it yourself, and then talking about it.
Right.
That's what's hard.
Yeah.
It's easier to do like research. Research is easy because I can just do this. But the problem with research
Yeah.
is that whatever feedback that you're getting is based on other people's feedback. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
But
I
if
have a
you,
whole thing about that.
yeah, if you've done the work, you understand it.
Yeah.
Um, One story that I have is I've talked about this too in the past where I was like going for a walk with like one of my coworkers and I purposely tried to trigger him. I'm like, you know that saying, don't work hard, work smart, right? Like, yeah, yeah. And then I told him, it's making people lazy. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what? No, no, no. He goes, no, 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 RJ. You don't understand. Work
Mm-hmm.
hard. You don't do things like if there's a more efficient way to do something, that's what you do. Because doing it
Right.
the hard way is dumb,
Yeah.
right? In my head, like, dude, I've been in this industry for a while. Of course I knew that,
Right.
right? But here's how people perceived it, because even I misinterpreted it. Back then, um, like I was so bought into the whole don't work hard, work smart. So you know what I did? I think I've gotten good at getting people to do my work.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I can get them to do my work, that's smart. I don't need to work hard,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
I could just say, "Oh man, like you're so good at this. I suck at this. Can you do this? Because like you're the best. I can do that shit." Like, all right, someone's doing my work, right? That's the short-term payoff of the work hard, work smart.
Right.
But the more you do, the more I do that. Like looking back, that didn't really help me because the more I've gotten people to do the work for me, the less I learned. The more I relied on them to do the work for me. Is that you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it ended up costing me skills and time and all that. I was too dumb to realize it back then. So now, if you're getting me to do work, like I'd rather do the work because if I do the work, um, that's that's gonna help me level up my skills,
Mm-hmm.
right? And of course, the better I am at that skill, the more I become efficient at. And so now I don't avoid work
Right.
simply because
Yeah.
I know that at the end of the day, I'm learning a skill when I'm doing this, and I'm gonna get so good at it. And guess what? If most people are lazy, you know what? Like then you can rely on me. Then I'm more value. Now I'm putting more value into their
Mm.
lives. That's like I think I've got another little
Yeah.
philosophical like
No, yeah.
like
Though you also reminded me of how like people say done is better than perfect. And I think it's the same thing. It gave people an excuse to be lazy because there is a difference between half-assing because you're lazy and then like stopping because the perfectionist will never find the perfect version of it. It will never be completed. So I think that's the equivalent of that. Like when people say work smarter, not harder, I think it is the equivalent of like, okay, find the lazy way. Um, yeah,
and if that's what they want to believe, then like go ahead because that's the norm. Well, if you want to succeed, I think you have to do both. You have to work hard and work smart. But that's just one out of like there's a lot of sayings out there that people
yeah,
just blindly follow. Um, I have this guy that I'm working with. It's like if I don't ask, then how do I know if it's okay? I
right,
mean, that is fair. But if you
yeah,
use that on like everything, if you don't take into account the context, dude, you're an annoying fuck. So don't
right,
do that.
yeah,
Right? Like you got to learn how to
yeah,
read the room.
true,
You don't ask for things when fully knowing that you're gonna sound controversial and all that. Like you got to take into account the other, and that's what I think we're missing right now too. Where when you like learn of a lesson, and then and then you have this aha moment, and then the next thing you know, you're trying to apply that lesson on every instance where you know what I mean? Only to
yeah. I have
realize
an
that
example for
maybe,
that.
yeah, you're not really applying it properly.
Yeah, though I see it all the time with like new photographers. They learn the rule of thirds. Let's pretend the screen was split up this way, and the rule is put somebody or something on one of the rule of thirds. So then
Mhm.
now every picture that they have they'll do this, where somebody's on the rule of third. So yeah, I seen it so much with photography or even graphic design too, um like learning how to design with a grid. Then they become slave to the grid. Everything is perfectly aligned to the grid, and it doesn't always work.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I've seen it way too many times. Um, where somebody learns it, or like a framework, even like with writing, if somebody learns like the myth truth that like we know, so like um now if that's kind of like the one thing you learn, not every single thing fits into that, like, so then it's hard to squeeze it in there, and when it might not always work. So yeah, it's interesting.
Because at the end of the day, like when you try to follow a template, what you forget is the why are you doing this in the first place? People like look at the details and they forget to zoom out. At the end of the day, what matters is did people understand what you're trying to say?
Right.
Right. At the end of that,
Yeah.
if the answer is yes, we're
Cool.
good.
Then yeah, however you got there.
You
Yeah.
yeah, you move on. Like who gives a shit if it's following the like the template and all that, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, as someone who like looks at things too, sometimes I ask myself like, does it really matter? Or maybe it doesn't at the end of the day. Because if it doesn't matter, then
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna spend too much time on it. Not
Right.
every problem needs to be solved. Some problems will
Yeah.
just go away by themselves. Or sometimes you're
True.
not we probably not encountering a lot of problems that you pick on the little things, right? It just means to me
Yeah.
that you probably don't have enough problems in life that you pay attention to the little things. Sounds harsh, but like,
No, I'm laughing because I say that and think that all the time. Like I wish I had your life where I can find the time to really that is what I'm complaining about. Like,
but I was
like
that
I wish
person
I had
though.
that.
I was that person in the past. Like I used to complain
Yeah.
about every little thing, and what I realized was because, man, I have nothing else going on in my life that I have too much time for to pick on those little things
Yeah.
compared to what I have now. Man, I wish I have more time to write and all that. And I don't, and so like I don't have time to overthink.
Yeah.
Um, it's all about taking action.
True. So speaking of taking action, let's say somebody watching this wants to learn how to be a content writer or learn how to do content writing. Do you by any chance have like either 3 to 5 tips on how to do that? And also, do you have any references, any courses that you've taken that you would recommend for people?
One thing I would say is journal, like buy a journal, and when I say journal, the frame that I would use is the stuff that you're gonna write on it. Make it so that you're studying yourself. You're studying your thinking. You're not gonna write down, "Dear diary, this is what happened to me today." You're not.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's more like this happened. I reacted this way. Why did I react that way? Right? Or let's say you're
Yeah.
pissed off, right? And like let's say like you're super pissed off to a point where you want to punch someone. You write it down and it'd be like you write down like I'm pissed off and you write down why you're pissed off. Um, one thing about me is that I'm bad at remembering things. Um, I document. I don't remember. Um, and that's helping me reflect. Like I remember important things, but if you were to ask me what I ate the other day, like I probably can't remember. So that's one thing. Like I would say journaling. Um, when it comes to reading books about writing, there's quite a. I'm a big fan of Nicholas Cole, as you already know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so the art and business of online writing
I
of
think.
writing online or something. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's a good book because then it teaches you like the rhythm. It teaches you like the basics of writing.
Yeah.
Um, it gives you a lot of tactics.
Did you read his ghostwriting one,
Not yet.
which is named the same thing? The art and business of ghostwriting.
No, I haven't.
That one's pretty good too. What I liked about that one was it even what broke down the way people like communicate. So that way, like if you interview somebody, for example, and that manufacturing person is more of a factual person, like loves bringing like, hey, like, you know, manufacturing businesses have risen by this much and it's projected to rise by this much more by 2030. So like very factual, then like, okay, now you know how to write for that person. Or somebody's very feeling and like almost like archetypes kind of. The biggest nugget that I got from that book, which
Mm,
the so the art and business of ghostwriting.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that come to mind. Um, like I'm sure I've read other books too in the past. Like I've read um, but what I
Cause,
learned from him is you know how at the beginning you have um like a problem to solve, and in the end, like it would be like the opposite of that beginning. Like when you're trying to write something, it
oh
kind of matches
no.
the myth through sandwich where, like, let's say I started off, well, like I suck at doing this thing happened, and now I'm good at doing whatever that thing is.
Is this
Um,
story worthy by Matthew
it's probably
Dix?
yeah, yeah, story worthy. Like I've read that too.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't finished that one.
Yeah,
But yeah, I remember I started that one a while ago. I need to finish that one.
but the best way to
Yeah.
get better at writing is to just write online and publish your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Like the journaling is good for reflecting, um, right? But if you want to know how people are reacting to your content, then you just have to write your thoughts online. Everyone, like
Mm,
I've gone through that, like, talk about the things that you like to talk about. Because chances are
mm,
you're gonna feel like you've already, you're gonna hit a wall, eventually. And every time you hit a wall, you figure out what you love to write about. So, I find like finding your niche is, can be distracting too for beginner writers. Um,
mm.
the best way to figure out what's working is really to put your work out there. Like it will suck, but I mean that's the tax that you have to pay, right?
Right. In the
Um,
beginning, yeah.
I'm still paying for it,
Yeah,
but
same.
it is just part of the package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you doing this. This was
Oh, for
fun.
sure.
I like picking your brain about like the difference of copywriting of and content writing, if there is any.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like the little tangent we went on AI, that was fun because like I feel like that's such a like blogger. That's such like a podcasting to do, but I'm like it's still a hot topic, fast that
AI.
it's evolving. This was fun. Thank you, man. I
No,
really
yeah,
appreciate it.
we can do this again. Like maybe next time we can pick a
Yeah.
different topic that talks about, like how to write and all that other stuff. Yeah, because the thing about me is I can go on a tangent real
Oh,
quick.
same. Yeah. So like, I'm surprised I was able to wrap it up because I was almost gonna ask you more things. I was like, no, wait, we'll save it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we'll do this again, man.